Basketball. I'm Jim Swinford along with Mike Aldridge, coming to you from Monticello Heights Gymnasium, where tonight the Thoroughbreds will be taking on the Mustangs of Bishop Brossart. Well, Brossart's 2-2 on the young season and will come into tonight's game off of a 64-35 win at Pendleton County last Monday. Despite losing 3 starters and their top 2 scorers off of last year's team, the Mustangs are rated in the preseason as the 10th best team in the 10th region. Meanwhile, the Breds won a big game at Scott County last Tuesday, which should provide a big boost of confidence against a program with which Harrison County has had lots of trouble with over the last few years. The junior varsity game turned out well as our JVs won their first game of the season, 39-31 over the Bishop Brossart JV team. Right now, both varsity teams are on the floor going through their pregame warm-ups. We invite you to stay tuned as we'll come back and take a closer look at both Harrison County and Bishop Brossart. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Harrison County and Brossart about 12 minutes away from tip-off. Well, Bishop Brossart is coached by Scott Code, who is in his second year at the helm of the Mustangs. Last year, Brossart finished 13-11, losing in the semifinals of the 37th District Tournament to Covington Scott. They're led in scoring by junior Logan Woosley at 12 points per game. However, one of the best players on the team coming back from last year, junior Robbie Verst, who averaged 9 points a game last season, in the third practice of the year, tore his ACL and is out not only for basketball, but baseball as well. And if you know anything about the Mustang baseball program, you know that Robbie Verst is a key cog on that program, and he will not be able to play this year as he tore that ACL in the third practice, as we said. He was projected to be the point guard on the basketball team, so some rearranging had to be done by Scott Code. Going back to Woosley, who leads the team in scoring. He also leads his team in shooting, making an incredible 66% of his field goal attempts, including 69% from three-point range. 6'6" senior center David Govan is the Mustangs' inside strength, averaging a team-leading 7 rebounds per game while shooting 55% from the field. Govan was a linebacker on the Bishop Brossart football team that went 13-1 last fall, losing in the regional finals to Raceland. Govan on that football team had 46 tackles. Just imagine a 6'6" guy with broad shoulders coming at you trying to tackle you. He was a load. As always, Brossart is a well-coached team that makes few mistakes and will not beat themselves. They'll want to play a slower tempo, much like Harrison County. The difference, Bishop Brossart is a better defensive team than is Harrison at this moment. This will be the 4th straight road game for Bishop Brossart, as their schedule is overloaded in the first half of the season with a lot of games away from Alexandria, but they'll make up for it in the last half of the season. Meanwhile, as we mentioned before, Harrison County, a really big win at Scott County the other night. It was the first time in quite several years that the Breds had beaten a named team on the road. The Breds had to stave off a furious rally by the Cardinals in the final minute, but held on for their first win of the year. Sophomore guard Caden Custard led his team with 20 points, while sophomore Braylon Hinton broke out of an early slump with 11 points. Custard, at 19.7 points per game, is the leading scorer on this Thoroughbred team. He had a career-best 23 points in the opening game loss at Ryle. Right now, the biggest thing that our thoroughbreds have got to be concerned about is that we don't have a good sense of what to do considering the time and the score and the situation. You got to be smart in those situations. Against Scott County, we were rushing shots despite the fact we were 6 to 8 points ahead with a minute to go. That's when you pull the ball out. You've got to understand what to do when the clock is coming down and you got a big lead, or the opposite way. You got to push things if you're behind and the clock is winding down. But that's something the coaching staff, I'm sure, is going to work on quite a bit over the next few weeks and make sure that the next time we're in those kind of situations like we were against Scott County, we will react a lot better, and I'm sure that we will. Got a pretty good crowd on hand for tonight's game. It's good to see a fairly full, well, half full Monticello Heights Gymnasium. Bishop Brossart has brought over a lot of people as well. It's an easy drive down 27. Takes about 45 minutes to get between Harrison County and Bishop Brossart, so good to see the Mustang fans as well. I know that at least some of them went down to Bianchi's to eat supper before coming up here to the Hilltop for the game tonight. Well, while both teams continue to take their warm-ups, we'll take a break and then come back and give you the starting lineups of tonight's game between Harrison County and Bishop Brossart. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN Sports. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's game. First for Bishop Brossart, 2-2 on the year, coached by Scott Code. At a guard, a 5'11 junior, number 4, Logan Woosley. Woosley's the leading scorer this year from the Mustangs at 12.5 points a game. At one of the forwards is Jack Poe. Poe wears the number 14. He's a 6-foot junior, averaging 4 points a contest. Another forward is manned by Mason Seapate. Seapate is a 6'1 junior who wears the number 24. He's averaging exactly 10 points a game. And at the other forward, number 40, Luke Schumacher. Schumacher is a 6'3 junior, averaging 6 points a game. And in the middle, a 6'6" senior, number 45, David Govan. Govan has an average of 11 points a game. So once again, for the Mustangs, it'll be Woosley, Poe, Seapate, Schumacher, and Govan. So far this year, Bishop Brossart averaging 53 points per game in offense. On defense, giving up a fairly stingy 43.8 points per game. Now for the Harrison County Thoroughbreds, now 1-2 on the year after that win over Scott County earlier this week. At a guard, a 6-foot sophomore, number 1, Caden Custard. Custard leads the team in scoring at 19.7 points a game. At the other guard, Clay Carpenter. Carpenter, a 6-foot senior. He wears the number 24. And right now, Clay is averaging 7.3 points a game. At one of the forwards is Braylon Hinton. Braylon wears the number 5. He's a 6'3 sophomore, averaging 5.7 points a game. The other forward, J.D. Kendall. J.D. wears the number 21. He's a 6'5 junior and is averaging 12.3 points per game, which is second best on the team. And in the middle, a 6'10" sophomore, number 44, Will Furnish. Will is averaging 4.7 points a game. So once again, for the Breds, it'll be Custard, Carpenter, Hinton, Kendall, and Furnish. So far this year, on average, Harrison County putting in 61.3 points per game on defense, giving up about 67 points per contest. So there are your starting quintets for the Breds and Bishop Brossart. Well, Harrison County back on the floor to do some warm-ups. Still awaiting the return of the Mustangs. So while we have this opportunity, let's take it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame prayer. here on the Hilltop. Harrison County and Bishop Brossart about to meet for the 27th time in the program's histories. Right now, Bishop Brossart leads the overall series 20-6. In fact, Bishop Brossart has won 5 in a row and 12 of the last 13 games between these two schools. That dates back to January of 2006. The only win that Harrison County has picked up over Bishop Brossart over the last nearly 16 years was back in January of 2015. Bishop Brossart also leads the series here on the Hilltop 6-4. Last year, the two teams got together up in Alexandria with Bishop Brossart winning 68-48. The last time the two teams played here on the Hilltop was in December of 2019, a couple of years ago. As you might imagine, Bishop Brossart won that game as well, 65-36. It's a series that began back in December of 1983 when the Mustangs came down to the Harrison County Invitational Tournament first round, a game that Harrison County won 68-61. So there's your look at the series between these two schools that has been dominated by Bishop Brossart. Hopefully we can turn the page tonight and pick up a win over the Mustangs. Well, lots of action going on in all the winter sports that are going on. The Breads tomorrow will be back in action when they'll host the Franklin County Flyers here on the Hilltop. Now, there's a game time change, according to what I've heard, as opposed to what the schedule says. The game will actually be, the varsity game tomorrow will be at 3:30. It was originally scheduled for 4. It's actually going to be at 3:30, so move your estimated time of arrival up here about a half an hour because it's going to be a half an hour earlier. The JV game, in turn, will also be a half an hour earlier, and it'll start at 2 o'clock. Breads will hit the road on Tuesday when they'll go to Winchester to take on the defending 10th region champion Clark County Cardinals, a preseason top 20 team in the state. That'll be a tough one. And then next Friday, we'll hit the road to Lexington when we'll head to Henry Clay High School to take on the Blue Devils as this really difficult schedule continues for Harrison County. Well, tomorrow the Phillies will be on the road at Ludlow as they'll take on Lady Panthers. That's a 3 o'clock start. Ed Lewis will have all the action for you on our app. On Monday, the Phillies will return home to host Bishop Brossart. The Lady Stangs coming to town. On Wednesday, the Phillies will host Bryan Station here on the Hilltop. And the third game of that 3-game homestand will be on Friday, a week from tonight, when we'll host the Lady Braves of Grant County. Tomorrow, the wrestling team will be at the Capital City participating in the Franklin County Duel, so best of luck to them. On Sunday, the archery team gets their schedule beginning as they'll take a trip over to Robertson County High School. And the bowling team also begins its season this weekend. On Saturday and Sunday, they'll participate in a matchup at the Galaxy Bowl, which is in Richmond. So best of luck to our bowlers, our archers, our wrestlers, and everybody else that happens to be playing this weekend as the winter sports are gearing up all over the place here in the second week of December. Well, the Harrison County Air Force Junior, ROTC, is presenting the colors. They'll bring the flags on the floor, and then we'll have the national anthem. So what we'll do is we'll take a listen to our Star Spangled Banner, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the tip-off of tonight's game between Harrison County and Bishop Brossart. But right now, let's bring you our national anthem.
Presented by cadets from Harrison County High School Air Force Junior ROTC program. Carrying the U.S. flag and commanding is Cadet Captain Carter Moore. Carrying the Kentucky State flag is Cadet Captain Frazier Daly. And the guards are Cadet Captain Peyton Fryman and Cadet Staff Sergeant Miles Bryan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched
hilltop, the Mustangs and the Thoroughbreds. A lot of horses running around tonight up here on the hilltop. Joined by Mike Aldridge. And Mike, we played pretty well against Scott County the other night in the win. We've just got to play a little bit better every time, and we'll be able to contend.
You know, if you're looking at this game and knowing who's playing, you'd think that athleticism versus patience and control,
right,
which is what probably will be. We've got to limit our turnover to not play into their hands, because they're not going to want to run up and down the floor with us. So we don't want to play their game, but we got to play ours to make sure we don't play theirs.
Right.
You know, so we got to while we got to move up and down the floor, we got to make good decisions quickly, and get ahead and stay ahead.
Most interesting matchup will be to see how Will and Blaine handle Govan inside, because he's a big boy and a football player, and he's going to want to push and shove.
Yeah, and officials don't make a lot of difference in most games, but it depends on how they call that. If they let him shove and push him around, they can't help it. They're a lot taller.
Right.
That's the way it is. You can't give him an advantage because they're taller.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. I hope this guy over here that was here for the girls' game tonight has a better game than he did then.
Well, I hope he is more mentally prepared, let's say.
Yeah, because he didn't want to be there for that game.
No, it was obvious.
Yes.
All righty, Will Furnish jumping center for Harrison County across the midcourt stripe. David Govan, as we were just mentioning that matchup. About to get this game underway. The 1-2 Thoroughbreds against the 2-2 Bishop Brossart Mustangs. Good crowd on hand here on the hilltop. And the snap is up and controlled by Bishop Brossart. Bringing the ball across the timeline will be Woosley, guarded by Carpenter on the man-to-man. Woosley moves to the elbow extended, kicks it to the foul line now to Govan. Back to the right side, long range to Woosley. Woosley drives around Carpenter, stops in the paint, dumps it down low, stolen by Furnish. He'll get the ball to Custard. Caden quickly into the front court. In the corner finds Carpenter, drives to the block, cut off, launches it back up top to Kendall, to the left side to Hinton. He'll fire a three-point try, no good. And the ball's going to hit off of the support wire as it bounced that high. So give the ball back to Bishop Brossart.
That wasn't a bad shot.
No, not at all. He was open, and it just was a little bit long. Full court man pressure by Harrison. Inbounds pass comes from Poe to Govan. He'll get it back to Poe. Poe is the player who was rushed into service a couple of weeks ago when Robbie Verst went down with the ACL. With the basketball, Poe up top to the left side gets Seapate. Seapate's three try good. Mason Seapate with the first points of the game. Gives his team 3-0 advantage. We played less than a minute here in this opening quarter.
Poe looks uncomfortable with the ball.
Carpenter at the top of the key to the right side finds Hinton long range. Hinton extended by Woosley's defense. Now makes his move to the top of the key, in between the circles. Now angles to the right in front of the Brossart bench, where he'll give the ball to Kendall. Kendall back to Hinton. He'll bring it back near the center circle. And now over to the far sideline to Custard. It's going to be a possession-by-possession game, I just have a feeling, because both of these teams really prefer the half court. Pass to the right side to Carpenter, long range. Carpenter makes a move inside the arc. Now kicks it in the corner to Hinton for a three try. Off the flange. Offside rebound. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Bishop Brossart. So Harrison will maintain possession of the ball. Treat yourself to some Snappy. Salads, chicken wings, sandwiches, and of course Beast Pizza. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235. Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
With the basketball, Carpenter in the corner finds Hinton. Baseball pass to the other side. Climbing the ladder, Custard. Falling down, gets the ball to Kendall. Nice play that time by Caden. Kendall on the far side of the midcourt circle near the timeline. Now makes his move to the top of the key. Inside the arc in the corner finds Carpenter for the three try. Good. Good pass by Kendall. Carpenter with the tray, and Harrison County has tied the score at 3-3.
So far the game's been 4 3-point attempts.
It might end up being a lot like that all the way. In the front court, Brossart with the basketball. Up top, Poe being guarded by Custard. Makes his move inside the arc, goes to the block. Now underneath the basket. Dumps it off inside to Schumacher, who drops the ball. Loose ball picked up by Hinton. Gets the ball down on the block to Kendall. Pumps it back up top to Custard for three off the flange. Rebound ripped down by Schumacher. Schumacher looking for help. Now gets it into the front court to Seapate. Seapate in the corner in front of the Harrison County bench to Schumacher. Schumacher gets the ball in a wraparound pass to Govan. Govan, a hook shot around Furnish. The shot's no good as he had to alter it. Ball knocked out of bounds by Brossart. So Harrison will get the ball. Will with those 6'10 arms, blocking off the vision of the 6'6 Govan.
It's hard to imagine they want to try to make that be a regular play right there.
I don't think it will be. Govan will have a height advantage probably in 95% of Brossart's games this year, but not tonight.
No.
Custer with the basketball in the front court at the top of the key. Moves inside the arc to the block to the glass. His layup is good. And Harrison County has taken their first lead of the night at 5-3. Good drive that time by Caden. In the front court with the basketball is Seapate. Seapate now nearly double teamed in front of the Harrison bench. Here's a pass to Govan in the front court. Ball knocked away. Loose ball still on the floor. Picked up by Woosley. He'll fire a three from the corner. Short. Rebound pulled down by Kendall, and here come the Thoroughbreds in the front court. Custer to Hinton, and Braylon lays it in. Good pass that time by Caden as Braylon Hinton with the layup has given his team the 4-point lead at 7-3. 4:18 left to go in the first quarter. In the front court for Brossart is Seapate. To the left side, long range to Woosley, to the foul line, finds Schumacher. Jump shot from there, bounces off, no good. Kendall wades in for another rebound. You get the ball in the front court to Custard. Custard on the right wing, goes baseline around his defender, and now as he tries to get around Schumacher, he travels as he lost his footing. First subs of the game, both wear the number 3. For Harrison County, Mason Smiley, a 6-foot sophomore who has yet to score this year. For Brossart, Anthony Cruz, a 5'10 junior averaging 3 points a contest. Also coming in for the Thoroughbreds, Blaine Biddle, a 6'4 senior averaging 5 points a game off the bench. Also Richard Harris, who's played well this year so far. He's a 6'4 senior who's averaging a half a dozen points a game.
Our defensive pressure is already tiring them out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's going to get more intense now with Harris out there.
Yeah.
Govan from the top of the key. They leave him open for the three. It's short. Carpenter comes down with the rebound for the Breds. Carpenter in the front court. Now we'll wrap it back around and start all over again. That was Govan's first three-point attempt of the year. Now as Harris races down the baseline towards the paint, he's going to be fouled. Foul is going to be called on Woosley. That'll be his first personal. And send Harris. Oh, they're not going to call it a shooting foul?
His first, team first.
And this guy, he's too busy talking to their coach to decide.
Yeah. Nope, they're going to call it a non-shooting foul, so Carpenter will inbounds the ball from his own baseline. Carpenter lobs it to the midcourt stripe to Caden Custard. Custard giving some directions to his team. Now uses a pick from Harris to move to the right side. Matches up with Govan, goes to the baseline, drops the ball off his leg and out of bounds. Don't need to force those things, Caden.
No.
Take your time. Harrison up 7-3. 3:27 left to go in the first quarter. Once again, the full court pressure. Poe looking at, tries a pass. It's going to be knocked to the bounds by Custard. See that Mary Canup is taking pictures tonight.
Yeah.
From his own baseline, Poe to trigger the inbounds pass.
That wasn't that Mary. It was that the other camera person there. Is that Marshall? I don't think that's Marshall.
Might be. Now we got a foul on Custard as he was trying for the steal on Woosley. That'll be the first foul on Harrison County, and not a popular call amongst the Harrison County faithful across the way from us. Brandon Beazold checks in now. Beazold, a 5'9 junior, averaging 3 points a game.
It is Marshall.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, he must be home for Christmas break already.
Must be. Now, Rachel and them have finals this coming week.
Western.
Maybe Western had theirs last week.
Yeah.
Don't know. With the basketball, a steal by Custard. Custard all the way the other way, lays it up and in. 4 points for Caden as Harrison County's lead has grown to 9-3. Good steal and layup that time by the sophomore. As we approach the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Beazold gets to the left side, long range to Govan. Govan being guarded now by Biddle. Gets it in between the circles to Beazold. Beazold to the right side to Seapate. Seapate in the corner finds Poe. Poe back up top once again to Govan. Puts the ball on the floor. Tries to spin around Biddle, but Biddle stays with him. Puts it up, no good. Rebound brought down by Carpenter. And here come the Breds on the run, leading by a half a dozen. That was good defense that time by Biddle inside, keeping Govan too far away from the basket.
And he didn't slap at the ball when he shot at it.
Exactly. Custard up top, gets the ball on the wing in front of the Brossart bench to Carpenter. Carpenter now to Biddle between the circles to the left side to Smiley. He'll fire a three, try short. Rebound is knocked around, picked up by Biddle, who puts it back up and in. Blaine Biddle with his first points of the night puts his team up 11-3 on the putback basket. We're going to have a full timeout, so we'll take it as well. 2:13 left to go in the first quarter. Your score, Harrison County 11, Bishop Brossart 3. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC. Have gone on what is now a 5-minute scoring drought. And now the timeout facing full court pressure. C-Pate having problems, and it's going to be a 5-second count. So give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds. Boy, that's good out of the timeout to have that kind of thing happen, because you got to figure that Brossart designed something just to get it in bounds.
Well, what we're doing is that when we make a basket, we're on top of everybody.
Right.
And we're making them play 90 feet, and they're not liking it.
Evan Orth in the game, a 5'11 junior, averaging 3 points a game for the Mustangs. Inbounds pass comes to Biddle on the baseline. Biddle guarded by Schumacher, fans it back out top to Kendall. Kendall between the legs dribble. Gets it in the corner to Hinton, fakes the three, moves inside the arc, 15-footer good. Nice job that time by Braylon to recognize he did not have the three-pointer, but the baseline 10-footer does the job just the same. In the front court with the basketball with under 2 minutes to go come the Mustangs. Govan up top to C-Pate. Inside the center circle now to Beazold. Beazold guarded closely by Hinton. Trying to find someone open. Our defense is just giving them all kinds of problems. On the right side now, Orth has it. And a whistle away from the basketball. And we're going to have a foul called on Biddle. Biddle matching up with Govan inside.
I hate those calls when everybody looks around to see who in the world it could have been.
Right, exactly. From his own baseline, Orth will trigger the inbounds pass. He lobs it on the wing to Schumacher. Schumacher now guarded by Smiley. Dribbles the ball in between the circles. Mason staying right with him. Pass to the far side in front of the stable to C-Pate. He'll get it in the corner now to Schumacher. Schumacher drives. He's now triple teamed. Steps on the inline. Turnover. We'll give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds as we have really taken them out of any kind of offense they want to run.
5 turnovers to 2.
Wow. Kendall will bring the ball down the floor this time as Brossart's thinking, another point guard? Come on. Pass to the right side, long range to Hinton. Raylan, a baseball pass intended for Biddle, but Blaine had already set himself up for the rebound. He goes out of bounds harmlessly to give the ball back to the Mustangs.
Good
Harrison
intentions.
County, yes. Harrison County Farm Bureau knows that if you want something protected, you keep it covered. Call 234-4514, and Dustin or Amy will get you covered. In the front court, Govan in the paint puts up a 10-footer off the flange, no good. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Schumacher. Pass back outside, a three-pointer, no good, but this time the rebound pulled down by Orth. He'll try to pass inside, knocked away. Loose ball, though, is going to be picked up by Beazold. 45 seconds left to go in the first. Harrison up 13-3. They've scored 13 in a row. Pass to the left side to C-Pate, long range. Inside the arc, Schumacher gets it down low. Wow! To Govan. Govan puts up a shot, and Harris punches it into the third row. What an athletic play by Richard.
That was a backward shot if I ever saw
Woo,
one.
that's an ESPN highlight film type of block. Custard checks back in the ball game. Also for Brossart, Woosley comes back into the contest. Woosley, the leading scorer on the year, has been held scoreless in the first quarter. From his own baseline, Beazold, with 34 seconds left to go, gets the ball to Schumacher. He'll get the ball to Woosley. Woosley up top to C-Pate for a three. Short. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Richard Harris, who's getting it all done tonight. In the front court, Custard goes baseline, spins. Now throws it down low to an open Hinton, and Braylon lays in. Boy, we have come to play tonight. 15 seconds left. Into the front court with the basketball come the Mustangs, down 15-3 now. Underneath the basket, Schumacher spins, misses the shot. But with 4 seconds left in the quarter, I think we got a foul on Harrison County. And it's going to be on Biddle, and that'll be Blaine's second.
Team third.
Yeah, I like that guy when he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Better.
Schumacher at the line for the first time tonight on the year. He is a 67% free throw shooter. His team has not scored since the 7-11 mark. First free throw is good, which ends that 7-minute scoring drought. In the game for the first time, Luke Piscatello. Piscatello, a 5'10 junior who has yet to score this year.
He was a JV player, tried to do too much in that game.
Yes, he did. I remember that. Second free throw by Schumacher is good as well. Also coming in will be Cruz, who saw some action earlier in the ball game. 15-5, Harrison up. They've got the length of the floor to go in 4 seconds. Kendall inbounds the ball to Custard. Caden across the line in the paint, dumps it to Furnish, makes the shot at the buzzer. What a great play. The combo of Custard and Furnish. So as we go to our quarter break, your score, Harrison County 17, Bishop Brossart 5. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC. Top. Harrison County uses a 15-0 run in that first half, or first quarter, excuse me, to take what is right now a 17-5 lead as the Brossart Mustangs went on a 7-minute scoring drought because our defense has been very intense.
They're 1 out of 10. They've only made 1 3-pointer. That's all they've made.
Wow, and that was the first shot of the game.
Right.
Harrison with the basketball. Custard tries a pass to Harris. Richard wasn't expecting it, but it's going to be off of a Mustang, so Harrison County will maintain possession. From his own baseline, Hinton will trigger the inbounds pass. Braylon looking. Somebody get open. He'll now toss it out to Custard near the center circle. He'll beckon for J.D. Kendall to come and help him out. And now Caden puts the ball on the floor. Pass to the left side to Hinton near the hash mark on the far sideline. Up top to Kendall. Kendall pass to the right side to Hinton. Goes baseline. Pulls up. Gets it to Furnish at the block. Will loses control of the basketball. Loose ball on the floor. Harris diving for it along with Schumacher. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow will give the ball back to Bishop Brossart.
Pass is a little low.
Yeah.
You got to remember, of course, you don't play the 6'11", well, we do, but not used to playing with 6'11 people.
Right.
You got to get the ball up in the air.
Yeah, can't pass it to his waist like they did that time because that makes a tall man a short man real easy.
Gives everybody a shot at it.
Exactly. From his own baseline against the full court pressure, Poe gets the ball inbounds to Schumacher. Schumacher back to Poe, who now will bring the ball into the front court, guarded by Kendall. Poe gets the ball in the hands of Woosley. Woosley long range guarded by Custard. He'll now get the ball on the wing in front of the Harrison County bench to Poe, up top to Schumacher. Schumacher guarded by Furnish, gets it on the baseline to Govan. Govan tries to drive around Harris, drops it out of bounds. So give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds. Boy, we're playing some good basketball tonight.
They're 1 out of 10. They've got 6 turnovers.
Wow.
The only thing they've done right, they're 2 for 2 from the foul line.
Kendall with the basketball across the timeline. We shouldn't put him on the line.
That's right.
Kendall dribbling over to the right side, picks up his dribble now, gets it on the wing to Custer, down to the block to Harris, puts it up, and the shot's good, and he's fouled. So a chance for Harris at the old-fashioned three-point play. That foul is on Schumacher, his first. Harris going to the line for the first time tonight on the year. Only a 44% free throw shooter. So hopefully he'll do better here. At the 6:52 mark. And his team leading 19-5, but he misses it. Rebound's going to be brought down by Schumacher. In the front court with the basketball come the Thoroughbreds, or make that the Mustangs, excuse me. Woosley drifts to the right side, gets it into the hands at the top of the key to Seapate. Seapate goes down the paint, lays it up and good. 5 points for Seapate, has 5 of his team's 7. Gets his team back to within a 19-7 margin with 6.5 left to go in the first half. With the basketball, Custard in the corner in front of the Brossart bench, up top to Kendall. Kendall being guarded by Poe. Now reverses his field, gets it on the left side to Custard for 3 off the flange. Rebound comes out high to JD. He'll get it back up top to Hinton. Harrison doing a good job on offensive rebounds of just going back out there and starting the play all over again. Now Hinton lost control of the basketball as it's tapped out of his hands by Poe, but they're going to say that Hinton touched it last. Carpenter returns the ball game now for Harrison County. Cynthia Hardee's has made from scratch breakfast options and the best burgers in town. Hardee's is a proud supporter of Breads and Phillies basketball. Coming in the game for the first time for the Breads, Garrett Wilson. Wilson, a 5'7" sophomore, averaging a point a game. Inbounds pass comes to Seapate. Seapate guarded by Carpenter in the backcourt. Now we'll bring the ball into the front court across the timeline on the near side of the midcourt circle. Pass to the far side of that same circle to Woosley. Woosley angles to the right, now hands it off to Poe at the top of the key. Poe looking for Govan, but he's been wrapped up by Harris. Now gets the ball over to the far side to Schumacher. Schumacher steps inside the arc, goes to the block, to the glass. His shot's no good. Custard comes down with the rebound for the Breads. He'll bring it to the front court himself. Goes to the foul line in the corner, finds Wilson. Wilson drives, tries a pass to Furnish, puts it up, and no good, rolls off. Rebound still being fought for. Will Furnish has it, misses the shot. Ensuing rebound is going to be knocked out of bounds. And they're going to say it was last touched by the Mustangs. So good job by Furnish of keeping the ball alive, if nothing else. But you got to make those close-in shots if you're 6'10".
He made a heck of a recovery to get the pass, but then he didn't make the basket both times.
Inbounds pass comes to Custard. Custard approaching the midcourt stripe, now makes his move in between the circles with a pick from Furnish. Goes to the block, and before he can put up the shot, he's going to be fouled. Fouls on Poe. That'll be Poe's first. From his own baseline, Carpenter, his team up 19-7 with 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Carpenter to Custard. Custard on the wing on the near side, up top to Wilson, to the left side to Carpenter for a three-point try. In and out, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Harrison County. If you've been thinking about a farm or machinery loan, call Michael Furnish with Farm Credit Mid-America at 859-254-2741 and learn how he can help you. Beazold returns to the game now for Govan, who is frustrated as he goes back to the bench. Has yet to get a point or a rebound. Came in averaging a double-double at 11 and 10 apiece. Now away from the basketball, a foul is going to be called.
Moving screen.
Moving screen on Carpenter. That'll be Clay's first. So, wait a minute, the other 24. Seapate.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Seapate picks up the foul. Carpenter from his own baseline. Lobs it up top to Custard. Custard in the paint, drives to the basket, has his shot blocked by Poe, but they're going to say Poe got a piece of him as well. Coach Code not real happy about that call, and I can understand. It looked like a clean block from here. But the official said foul number 2.
And the fans loved it too.
Yeah. Caden Custard at the line. He's hitting 87% of his free throws. Already a good line with 4 points, a rebound, and 4 assists, but he misses that first free throw. He's now missed 2 of his last 3.
His sister's going to come back out on the floor and
discuss it. I'm sure that's why she came on the floor over at Georgetown.
They're holding her.
Yeah, see, she's embarrassed to watch him. Second free throw is also no good. But on the rebound, we're going to have a foul on Carpenter. That'll be Clay's second, first thoroughbred to pick up as many as 2 personal fouls. 4:54 left to go in the first half. Harrison County kind of stuck on 19-7, but the good thing about being stuck on 19-7, Brossart's been at 7 for a long time. Now a steal by Carpenter is going to be undercut on the play by Orth. That'll be Orth's first personal foul. Actually, it's on Bezold.
That's 8 turnovers for them already.
Yeah, I thought Orth was a football player.
Yeah.
He was their leading wide receiver, had 8 catches for 167 yards.
Wow. They didn't do thought too much, did they?
No.
Maybe they didn't have to.
As we mentioned, Brossart 13-1 in the football season, losing to Raceland in the regional final, which caused some of these football players to come out late to practice.
Yes.
Carpenter dumps it down low to Furnish, who lays it up and in.
Good play.
That's the way you do it. That's Will's 4th point. Harrison County's lead now grows to 21-7 with 4:18 on the clock. Now we got a foul. No, a turnover the other way.
Travel.
We give the ball back to the Reds as I make that Anthony Cruz checks back in.
And we're making them play people they don't want to play.
Yeah, combinations they don't want to play either. As Govan will check in now for Schumacher. I think this is Schumacher's first rest of the night. No, actually someone else came out ahead of them. Poe goes to the bench. So Harrison County up by 14. We've had one tie and one lead change very early in the contest. Custard on the right wing to Carpenter. Goes baseline, pull-up jumper from 15. Good. 5 points for Clay. Harrison County's lead now 23-7. As we go under 4 to go in the second quarter. I'll get it right here eventually. Shot put up, no good. Wilson with the rebound. Goes to the foul line, passes to Harris. Harris in trouble. Ball knocked away, and before Wilson can pick up the loose ball, the foul is going to be called on Woosley, and that'll be Logan Woosley's second. That'll send Harris back to the line, where he's 0 for 1, missed the front end of a bonus just about a minute ago. Harrison 1-2, Brossart 2-2 in the early season. Free throw by Harris. The 5th-year senior is very short. No good. Govan comes down with his first rebound of the night. He'll get it into the hands of Bezold. Into the front court come the Mustangs. Here's a shot put up, no good, but a foul is going to be called on Harrison County. It's going to be on Wilson. That'll be Garrett's first.
Garrett should have got over and got in front of him or got out of the way. He was going to eat that shot if he got it off.
Cruz at the line for the first time tonight. He's 0 for 1 from the charity stripe this season. As we said, a junior averaging 3 points a game. His first free throw is good. Hinton and Kendall return to the floor for the Thoroughbreds. As Cruz will go back for the second of these 2 free throws. 3:36 on the clock in the first half. Harrison up 23-8. They've led by as many as 16. Second free throw is also good by Cruz. And a timeout is going to be called by Bishop Brossart. It's just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. But, Mike, our team has been buoyed, I think, by that Scott County win and playing with a lot of confidence tonight.
You know, and maybe Coach Brooks was able to explain to him what a big deal it was to beat an 11th region team. And,
on the road.
On the road, and,
right.
You know, a 6A or a 5A school.
Right.
And because they have been playing, but our defense is what's playing.
Yes.
Our defense is making them make 9 turnovers to 5, and we've made unforced turnovers. So as long as we play, we got away from a couple shots there that a couple guys took, that a couple threes we didn't need.
Right.
You know, and I think Coach gets them back in. We got to do this. We can't do that.
Right.
You know.
And we sometimes get a little bit too much in love on the offensive rebound, just trying to take it straight back to the basket, when a lot of times the best thing to do is back it way back again and start all over.
Or get a ball fake clear if you're clear to do it.
We get back to play. A steal by Cruz. He gets the ball to Bezold. Back to Cruz in the corner. Back to Bezold on the wing. Now to the top of the key to Govan. Govan back between the circles now and into the hands of Woosley. Woosley dribbles to the left side. Will hand the ball off to Cruz. Cruz inside the arc. Back on the wing in front of the Harrison bench to Woosley. Gets the ball to Govan. Goes around Furnish. And we're going to have a foul called on Harrison County as he did that drive. The foul is going to be called on Kendall, and that'll be JD's first. Just a common foul. With the next foul, both teams will be in the bonus. 3:11 left to go in the half. Harrison leading 23-9 from his own baseline. Poe to trigger the inbounds pass. In the corner, a wide open Cruz fires a three. It's off the side of the backboard, no good. But Cruz goes in there and gets the rebound. He'll get it to Govan. Govan goes down to the block, cut off by Furnish. And now a steal by Custard. Outlet pass in the front court to Hinton. Braylon to the basket. Layup is going to be blocked by Woosley. But they're going to call Woosley for the foul, and that'll be 3 on the leading scorer for Brossart. Came in averaging 12.5 points a game, has yet to score in this contest, but decision time for Coach Scott Code on whether to leave Woosley in there or not. Braylon Hinton going to the line for the first time tonight on the year. He is 2 for 2.
Well, I hope he can continue that because right now they're 4 for 4 from the line, and we're 0 for 4.
With 2:55 on the clock in the first half, first free throw is good.
Took the lid off the foul shooting.
Finally. Second free throw upcoming for the sophomore, Braylon Hinton. It's on the way, and that one is good as well. Schumacher returns to the floor for the Mustangs. 25-9. This match is Harrison's biggest lead of the night. Boy, I'd love to go into the locker room with them under 10 points. Right now they got 9. Poe with the basketball in the front court on the left side. Stopped by Custard. Nearly traveled. Now throws a pass to the far side in front of the stable to Cruz. Cruz up top in between the circles of Poe. Poe back in the corner to Schumacher. Schumacher will bring it back inside the center circle to reset the offense where he'll hand the ball to Cruz. Cruz guarded by Carpenter. Now hands it off to Poe. Poe to Seapate to the left side to Schumacher long range. Schumacher up top to Govan. Now to the right side, long range to Cruz. Cruz inside the arc to Schumacher. Ball fake goes to the block. Forces up a shot. Partially blocked by Furnish. Down with the rebound comes Cruz. Gets it inside the arc. Now outside the arc. Schumacher down to the block. He finds a mismatch. Seapate lays it up and over Custard. With 2:05 left. 25-11 is now your score after Mason Seapate scores his 7th point of the game already on that layup.
Braylon was a little late getting there that time.
Here's a three fired up, no good by Kendall. A little bit quick. Rebound pulled down by Schumacher. Schumacher has the ball. Now gets to Poe. Poe up top to Schumacher again. Schumacher at the foul line. Nearly traveled. Now we're going to have a foul called on Custard. That'll be 2 on Caden. Well, if there's one guy on our team that can play with a little foul trouble, it is Custard. But it does put the Mustangs in the bonus. Going to the line will be Schumacher, who's 2 for 2 from the charity stripe tonight. 1:39 left to go in the first half. Harrison up 25-11, mainly because of a 15-point run in the middle of the first quarter. Lefty's first free throw is good. Took a little trip around the rim before finally dropping in. But drop in it did.
Yeah, and we can't get away from our offense. We can't go down there and fire one up quick like that. We've done that 2 or 3 times. 3 different guys.
Second free throw by Schumacher is nothing but net. He has 4 to cut Harrison County's advantage down to a dozen at 25-13. Across the timeline comes Carpenter. Dishes it off to Furnish from the block. His shot is good. Another assist for Carpenter. 6 points for Will on that layup. Gives Harrison a 27-13 lead with 1:24 left on the clock here in the first half. Now a turnover by the Mustangs. Gives it back to the Breds.
He's trying to penetrate. We got this guy penetrating too deep down the line.
Ran right to the trap.
Yeah.
Custard will bring the ball into the front court on the near side of the midcourt circle. 27-13 your score. Harrison County up. Custard surveying the defense, moves to the left side. In the corner, finds Hinton for a three-point try. Drains it! Another 3, or the first 3 of the night, for Braylon Hinton. And Harrison County's lead grows to 30-13. Under a minute to go here in the first half. With the ball in the corner, Cruz. He'll bring it back up top. Picks up his dribble, gets it to Schumacher on the wing. Schumacher steps inside the arc, now tries a pass to Govan, and we're going to have a foul on Harrison County. Foul's going to be called on Kendall, and that'll be JD's second. So Custard, Kendall, and Carpenter, as well as Biddle, with 2 fouls apiece. Smiley and Harris return to the floor as Custard will have a seat, as will JD for the last 47 seconds of this first half.
I thought he called it for kicking. I thought he called Will for kicking the ball.
Called a foul. So going to the line will be Seapate. This will be his first free throw of the night on the year. He's a 67% free throw shooter. Actually, it's going to be Govan as they replace players. Govan's first trip to the line on the year. He's a 57% free throw shooter. We'll take Govan instead.
Yes.
First free throw's on the way, and off the flange, no good. And Furnish goes and gets the rebound. It's a couple of boards on the night for Will. 6 points in the block. Carpenter across the timeline, directing traffic as he drifts towards the far sideline near the hash mark. He'll now dribble it to the top of the key. Now gets it in the far corner to Hinton. Pulls up for a 15-footer. Good! 13 points for Braylon Hinton here in this first half as he is having a wonderful game. Got a lot of confidence over at Scott County the other night and has continued on into this game as well. 32-13, 25 seconds left on the clock here in the first half. In the front court, quickly going to the basket. Schumacher, his shot's no good, but he's going to be bumped pretty hard by Furnish. That'll be Will's first personal foul. Schumacher back to the line where he's 4 for 4. Harrison up by 19 with 21 seconds on the clock. First free throw by the lefty is off the front of the rim, no good. He'll have another shot at it. But first, a substitution is Brandon Beasold will check into the game for Woosley. Trying to cut the deficit down to 18 points will be Schumacher, the junior. His free throw's on the way, and perfect this time. Makes it 32-14. In the front court quickly come the Thoroughbreds, and a foul is going to be called on on Richard Harris. This got a little bit out of control that time.
Yep.
Now checking back in the game, Woosley returns. So they'll try to get a shot off going into the locker room. Full court pressure, though, being applied by the Breds with 18 seconds left to go. 32-14, we lead. Inbounds pass will come this time to Beasold. He'll get the ball to Poe, into the front court to Seapate. Seapate drives down the lane, puts up a shot, blocked by Harris again. Rebound being fought for, picked up and put back in by Woosley with about 5 seconds left. And that will bring it in to the first half of play. Gosh, I hate that about Woosley scoring there at the last. But anyway, Harrison County leads by a score of 32-16 as they've doubled up the Bishop Brossart Mustangs here in the first half. We invite you to stay tuned now for our halftime show, sponsored by Joe Cochran out at State Farm. We'll go over all the scoring and stats from this first half, which has been very enjoyable if you're a Harrison County fan. We'll do that following this timeout. But once again, from here on the Hilltop, your halftime score, Harrison County 32, Bishop Brossart 16. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC. Mustangs of Bishop Brossart 32-16. Remember, this is a Bishop Brossart team that has defeated Harrison County 12 of the last 13 times they've played each other. So let's hope that the good times keep on rolling in the second half. Harrison County took an early lead with a 15-0 run midway through the first quarter. They went into the second quarter leading 17-5, and in that second period, the lead for Harrison went anywhere between 12 and 19 points as they maintained a double-digit advantage, and right now lead by 16. Taking a look at the scoring, first for Bishop Brossart, they're paced by Mason Seapate, who has 7 points here at the break, including the game's only 3, or at least the only 3 for Bishop Brossart, which came on the very first minute of the game. 5 points for Luke Schumacher, and 2 points each for both Logan Woosley, which is important because he's their leading scorer on the year, has been held to just a couple. And also 2 points off the bench for Anthony Cruz. Also playing but not scoring, David Govan. 0 points, 1 rebound. He came in averaging 11 points and 10 boards, so we really shut him down tonight. Also playing but not scoring, Jack Poe, Brandon Beazold, Evan Orth, and Luke Piscatello. For Harrison County, Braylon Hinton leads the way with 13 points so far here in the first half of play. That's already his career high, and we've only played a half. 6 points for Furnish, 5 for Clay Carpenter, including a 3. 4 points for Caden Custard, who's also added a rebound and 5 assists here in the first half. And a couple of points as well for both Richard Harris and Blaine Biddle. Richard with a couple of blocks so far in the game. Also getting in the game but not scoring, J.D. Kendall, Mason Smiley, and Garrett Wilson. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take a break and come back and have Mike take a look at the team stats following this timeout. But once again, your halftime score, Harrison County 32, Bishop Brossart 16. You're listening to the halftime show sponsored by Joe Cochran at State Farm on WCYN Sports.
Back here on the hilltop with the Thoroughbreds leading by 32-16 over Bishop Brossart. And here's how they got that done. For Bishop Brossart, they shot the ball 19 times in the first half, made a grand total of 4.
Wow.
21% from the field.
Awesome.
1 out of 6 from the three-point line. The first shot of the game they made, the rest of them they missed. 17% from threes. They're pretty good from the line. 7 out of 11, 63.6. Considering they made their first 4 foul shots, though, that means that they were 3 out of 7 the rest of the time.
Right.
10 turnovers and 9 rebounds.
Wow.
5 defensive and 4 offensive. Now, second quarter was played much closer. We only outscored them by 4 points in the second quarter.
Oh, okay.
But so the second quarter, they caught up some statistically. It was worse than that in the first quarter. For Harrison County, we shot the ball 26 times, made 14 of them for 53.8%. 2 out of 9 from three-point line, which is 22%. That might be we're shooting too many of them.
Maybe.
But anyway, 2 out of 9, 22%. Here's a concern. 2 out of 6 from the foul line, 33%. 8 turnovers, 5 of them in that second quarter.
Unforced.
And 12 rebounds, 8 defensive, 4 offensive. So in the second quarter, they were even with us rebounding. We both made 5 turnovers. They made 5 free throws to our 2, but we made 6 field goals. So to their 3. So we outplayed them, but still,
right.
I think we can't. That big first quarter can't carry us through the whole game.
Right. No.
We're going to have to settle down and quit We came down and got out of the offense several times in the last part of that second quarter, and we just can't do that.
No, not yet.
Now, they're breaking that press by sending the guy. If they don't get a pass to the open man right away, they send the person that Will's guarding up to take a long pass,
Right.
which is what they got to do.
That's smart.
Well,
That's
they've
smart
got to
way.
do that. We're not going to send Will out there to defend that. We may send somebody else in the game,
Right.
but Will's playing a good game. We need to
Yes, he is.
we need to have advantage on that end and let them break the press that way. If that's the way they want to have to do it.
Another impressive stat, they've made 4 shots. We've blocked 3.
That's right.
So that's a good percentage right there. All righty, both teams are back out on the floor going through their halftime warm-ups. We'll take a break and come back for the third quarter handoff after this timeout. Your lead for Harrison, 32-16. You're listening to Harrison County Basketball on WC. Here on the hilltop, Harrison County will have the ball to begin the third quarter, leading 32-16. Once again, want to remind everyone that tomorrow's game against Franklin County, the JV game, will start at 2 o'clock and the varsity at 3:30. That's a half an hour later than scheduled, so make your changes in your date book. Alrighty, the Thoroughbreds. Caden Custard receives the inbounds pass, and we'll get started. Harrison up 32-16. Pass to Furnish at the top of the key. Dumps it down low to Kendall, who goes to the basket, misses the shot, but he's going to be fouled by Schumacher, who came down wrong on somebody's foot and is a little gimpy coming out of there. That'll be Schumacher's second personal foul.
Well, they don't need that for Bishop Brossart's
No.
sake. They've already lost to one good kid.
So he'll come out of the game at least temporarily, just as it happens sometimes. Went up for a rebound and came down on a foot. Checking back in will be Orth. He saw some minutes in the first half. Kendall going to the line for the first time tonight on the year, which is surprising as all get out to me. He's just 2 for 6. JD's better than that. Junior looking for his first point of the night as well. His first free throw is good. Now that's the way you do it.
Yeah. You need to say that every time.
Yeah, I'll try to remember
You can
that.
do better than that.
Second free throw upcoming at the 7:50 mark is off the flange. No good. I should say it every time, evidently.
Yeah.
CPATE comes down with the rebound for the Mustangs, who are now trailing by 17. They've trailed by as many as 19. Woosley gives the ball in between the circles to Poe. Poe looks inside, nothing there. Gets it on the wing to Orth. Wraparound pass to intended for Govan. Gets away. Loose ball knocked out of bounds by Govan, who's just having a rough night tonight. Give the ball back to Harrison County. Treat yourself to some Snappy salads, chicken wings, sandwiches, and, of course, Beast Pizza. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235.
Snap.
Thank you.
I was listening this time.
Good. I hope you're listening all the time. Now you've let out your secret. Here's a steal by Woosley. He goes all the way the other way and lays it up and in. Just a little carelessness with the basketball that time by the Thoroughbreds, who now see their lead at 33-18.
Sometimes I get deep in thought.
That's what it is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With the basketball are the Thoroughbreds. That's Kendall out top. Gets it to Hinton, back out to Custard. Custard in between the circles, pass to the right side, long range to Hinton in front of the stable. In between the circles finds Custard once again. He'll direct a little traffic before angling over to the left, reverses back to the right, moves inside the arc, backs it up to Carpenter for a three. Good! That's the way you move the ball around. Second tray of the night for Clay Carpenter, who's shooting better tonight. And Harrison County's lead goes back out to 36-18 as we've doubled up the Mustangs. 6.5 left to go in the third quarter. Up top with the basketball, Poe. Spins around, now tries a pass to Woosley, knocked into the backcourt by Custard. Woosley goes and retrieves it. He'll come back across the timeline, the middle of the floor, picks up his dribble, looking for help. He's in trouble, and the ball's taken away by Hinton. Hinton goes all the way to the basket and lays it up and in. 15 points for Braylon Hinton, having a career night so far here in this ball game. 38-18. That's Harrison County's largest lead as we go under 6 to go in the third quarter. With the basketball, Orth, triple team, gets the ball to Woosley. Woosley down to the block to Govan, misses the shot, gets his own rebound. Now he tries to put it on the floor and it's knocked away. And now we're going to have a jump ball called. Possession arrow will keep it in the hands of the Mustangs. We're like a bunch of bees out there just swarming around there. Smiley back in for Harrison. Cruz and Beazold return to the floor for Bishop Brossart. From his own baseline, Poe to trigger the inbounds pass. This team has scored just 18 points, came in averaging 53. Poe in the corner. Here's a three fired up by Cruz. Air ball. Rebound, though, is going to be brought down by Poe, and he's going to be fouled as he goes back up with it. Or no, they jump ball. Okay. So a jump ball was called. So Harrison County with the ball as they got the possession arrow. 38-18, trying to make it a 22-point advantage. Across the timeline comes Custard. Custard drifts to the right side, gets it to Smiley for a three-point try. Off the mark, no good. Rebound will come out high to Custard. Caden on the wing, inside the arc, gets it down on the block to Kendall, puts it on the ground and drops it. And now trying to steal it was Poe, and he'll knock it out of bounds as well, so Harrison will maintain possession. Well, we now know that Alex Sled can't shoot a basketball as he fired one up from the front row of the stable, and it was, 20 feet off. That's what wrestlers shoot like, I guess. Now Custard goes up to get a pass, but he's going to be knocked down by Cruz. That'll be Cruz's first personal foul.
His first, team second.
I think that Alex is looking over at Brossart and saying that's the way you all shoot.
He might be. He might be. Or look at this is how you're doing it. Yeah. Well.
Wrestling team will be at the Franklin County Duels tomorrow, so best of luck to Alex and the rest of his crew. With the basketball, Custard up top. Fires it to the right side to Smiley on the baseline to Kendall. JD back up top to Hinton. Fakes the three, moves inside the arc. In the paint, has the ball knocked away from behind. Loose ball picked up by Cruz, and here come the Mustangs. Cruz, an off-balance shot, way off the mark. Kendall with the rebound. Fires it into the front court, intended for a Hinton. It's a little high and out of bounds. So let's not get too happy with that, guys. Give the ball back to Brossart as both teams have gotten a little bit sloppy over the last couple of minutes, but I'd rather be sloppy 20 points ahead than sloppy 20 points behind. Now, Coach may not see it as nicely as I do.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Beazold on the wing on the far side to Poe. Poe to the top of the key to Orth. Orth looking to dribble. Now he steps inside the arc. Wraparound pass to Govan. Goes around Furnish. Has a shot blocked by Will. And Custard with the rebound. In the front court come the Brez. Pass to the right side to Kendall for three. No good off the mark. Rebound is going to be knocked to the bounds. Last touched by the Mustangs.
You know, we're firing up quick threes.
Yeah, we're getting too happy with ourselves being at 20 points up. We're just not used to being 20 points up.
I know. We need to get more used to that.
C. Pate checks back in for Brossart. Harrison County Farm Bureau knows that if you want something protected, you keep it covered. Call 234-4514 and Dustin or Amy will get you covered. Hinton gets the ball inbounds to Smiley. Mason will bring it back inside the center circle. Now drifts to the right side, long range, and we've got a whistle and 3 seconds. Turnover on Harrison County either way. Gives the ball back to Bishop Brossart. as Harris and Biddle come back into the game, and the Brossart people just think, gosh, it's a wave.
Yeah.
Furnish and Kendall will check out. You know, we don't lose a whole lot when we bring in people off the bench.
No, we don't. We're having, and still Mason Smiley comes in and plays well.
Yeah, defensively.
Defensively, and he hadn't made any shots, but he's taking shots that need to be shot.
Yes, I mean, they're good shots he's taking, and once those starts falling, he'll get a bunch in a row, I'd say. With the basketball in the front court, Cruz, guarded by Smiley. Cruz, wraparound pass to Govan, and they're going to call a foul from behind on Biddle, and that'll be Blaine's third. Biddle can't catch a break in this game. 4 minutes exactly left to go in the third. Timeout is going to be called by Harrison. Just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. As we mentioned, exactly 4 minutes on the clock. Harrison up 38-18, and even though the offensive time seems to rush, Mike, our defense is still playing solid.
Well, when the other team hadn't scored, it's well, I guess they have scored something.
Scored one bucket.
Yeah, I was just didn't mark
that
it
was
down.
Woosley's very early in
Yeah.
this quarter.
So they're 1 out of 4 from the field, and they've scored 2 times. We've scored, well, we had 32, and now we got 30. So it's 6 to 2. We can outscore them like that and still shoot bad shots. I guess that's all right.
Absolutely. Once again, the Breads tomorrow against Franklin County. JV game will be at 2, varsity at 3:30. That's a half an hour change than what's on your schedule. From his own baseline out of the timeout, Cruz fires it in the corner, wide open for a 3 as C-Pate, no good off the front of the rim, and Smiley chases it down for Harrison County. He's going to be fouled.
No, they called travel.
What? You got to be kidding me.
That was
Not
too
a good
bad.
call whatsoever.
I think, if anything, the guy grabbed his arm and pulled
Yeah.
it. But that's 4 turnovers for us this quarter.
Need to cut that
and
down.
12 for the game.
Now those 12, 8 have been unforced.
Yes.
With the basketball in the front court is Beazold. Gets it up top to Cruz, who gets it in turn to Govan at the top of the key. Govan to the left side to Orth. The ball's dropped. Loose ball on the floor picked up by Orth. Football player lobs it inside. It's going to be picked off by Biddle. Biddle, Wes Unseld pass to Custard. Puts it up, no good, but he's fouled. And he'll go to the line for 2. Foul is going to be called on Cruz, and that'll be Anthony Cruz's second personal foul. Custard going to the line where he is uncharacteristically 0 for 2 on the night.
Yeah, our free throw shooting is.
Yeah. What was it I said before the last one that he made?
That was
Oh, wait a minute.
That was JD.
It was JD. I'll have to figure out something different for Caden.
he
No,
made
Caden doesn't need anything.
I think we
It's the
threatened to
first.
send his sister out there.
Yeah. Schumacher and Woosley back in. Second free throw
I'm glad to see
upcoming for
Schumacher
Caden.
up because he was limping pretty badly when he came.
39-18. 3.5 left in the third. Custer looking for his 6th point, and he gets it. Nothing but net. 40-18. Who would have thought this?
Not anybody in here, I don't think.
No.
Maybe Coach Brooks.
Maybe. Cross timeline comes C-Pate. Picked up defensively by Hinton. Gets it on the left side, long range, this time to Beazold. Beazold drives, cut off, puts it in the paint to Govan, who's triple teamed. Looking for help. Gets it to Schumacher, now out top to C-Pate. C-Pate in the lane, down on the block to Govan, who puts it up and in. First points of the game for David Govan. Came in averaging 11. So Harrison's lead down to 20 at 40-20 with under 3 to go in the third quarter. Custard in the corner to Hinton for 3. Rolls off, no good. Ball is going to be rebounded by Schumacher. Schumacher in the front court to C-Pate. C-Pate's going to be fouled by Smiley and will go to the line for 2. That'll be Mason Smiley's first personal foul. Comes at the 2:43 mark. C-Pate at the line for the first time tonight on the year. He is 2 for 3, 67%. Junior's first free throw is going to bounce in there. Kendall and Carpenter, sounds like a law firm, back into the game now.
Most of the time when we've substituted tonight, it's been for a defensive failure, not an offensive failure.
Because Coach Brooks is a defensive coach. Yes. Second free throw is no good this time by C-Pate. And down with the rebound, Blaine Biddle. Here's a 3 fired up, no good off the front of the rim, but Biddle goes and gets the rebound. Good job, Blaine. Kendall Gets the ball to Carpenter. His left-handed shot good as he drives on the runner. 10 points now for Clay. And now Harrison's lead at 42-21 as we've doubled them up. 2:19 left to go in this third quarter. Now a steal by Harrison. Custer to Kendall. Lays it up and in. JD's first field goal. He has 3 points. Harrison County's lead now grows to 44-21. 2:03 left in this third quarter now with the basketball. Woosley. And we're going to have a foul on Harrison.
It's Carpenter's second.
2 fouls on Clay. From the sideline to the left of his bench at the hash mark, Beazold inbounds it into the backcourt to Woosley. Woosley covered up by Carpenter, trying to spin away from him, but now a steal by Custer. Perfect timing. And Caden does kind of a sloppy slam, but will count as a slam anyway. And now timeout called by Bishop Brossart. A 30 or a full. It looks like it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take it as well. 1:47 left to go in the third. Your score, Harrison County 46, Bishop Brossart 21. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC. It's been a fun game. Yes. 46-21, Harrison County up by 25 over the Mustangs. Like we talked about earlier, Harrison County had lost 12 of the last 13 against these guys, dating back to 2006. With the basketball in the paint, going to the basket, Cruz has a shot blocked out of bounds, this time by Biddle.
Can't make all those losses up at one time, but it's good. This is a good way to start.
Checking in the game for the first time in his career, Elijah Harris. Elijah, a 5'7" sophomore. Elijah becomes the 482nd thoroughbred to play a varsity game. From his own baseline, Piscatella, who's back in, gets the ball up top to Cruz. Over to the left side, finds Poe. Poe back up top to Orth in between the circles. Now to the left side, long range to Schumacher. Schumacher gets the ball once again to Piscatello. Tries a pass, knocked away, but the loose ball picked up by Cruz on the right side, long range. Cruz goes to the top of the key, looks around, finds Poe on the left side. Now back up top once again to Cruz. Cruz to Poe. Poe, now a pass, skip pass to Orth. Down on the baseline, finds Piscatello. His 10-footer is no good. Schumacher skies for the rebound, and he'll have his dribble knocked out of bounds. Brossart will maintain possession as Garrett Wilson returns to the contest.
Brossart's got two guys here they don't want him to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
The other three are trying not to throw it to him.
That's what it looks like.
Well, 42 and 30. The guy that came in for Schumacher.
Yeah, 42 and 32 are. They don't want him to touch the ball.
Yeah, he's been nervous as a cat since he got in here.
Piscatello to Poe. Poe back to Schumacher on the baseline. Guns it up top once again, this time to Cruz. Cruz drives, puts up a shot, no good. Rebound by Piscatello, shot no good. And down with this rebound will be Richard Harris for Harrison County. In the front court come the Breds. That's Elijah Harris. And now we're going to have a palming. Come on, Elijah. You know better than that. 43 seconds left to go in the third. Harrison up 46-21. Currently, the Breds on a 6-0 run.
Elijah's going to one-hand pass that ball. He knows better than that.
Yep. With the basketball, Piscatello has a shot blocked by Harris. Smiley goes and gets the rebound. And up the floor will fly the Thoroughbreds. Up top, Elijah Harris. Elijah on the left wing now backs it back out again inside the center circle with 23 seconds left to go in the quarter. Elijah now reverses his field, goes to the near wing in front of his own bench, gets the ball to Richard Harris. Richard back to Elijah up top. Gets to the far side to Smiley. Smiley back up top to Elijah Harris again. 8 seconds left to go in the quarter. Elijah pass to the right side to Smiley in the corner to Wilson. Wilson drives, puts up a 15-footer, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter of play with your score. Harrison County 46, Bishop Brossart 21. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC1. Top, Harrison County will take a 25-point lead into the fourth quarter, leading 46-21 in that third quarter. We outscored the Mustangs 14-5. So we've won all three quarters so far. The first quarter 17-5, the second quarter 15-11, and as I said, the third quarter 14-5. With the basketball, Piscatello for Brossart. Skip pass to the near side, finds Poe. Poe now to the top of the key to Cruz. Cruz looking for help as he's picked up his dribble. We'll hand it off now once again to Poe. Poe back to Cruz, baseline. Thought about the 13-footer, but turned it down when Biddle came out to defend him. Schumacher in the paint up top. Here's a three fired up by Poe. Off the mark. Rebound on the floor, picked up by Piscatello. Piscatello lost control of the basketball, and Wilson picks up the steal. Wilson brings the ball in the front court. In the corner finds Richard Harris. Richard drives to the basket and rolls around and off. Rebound pulled around by Richard. His putback is no good, but he's fouled. So good job of fighting the offensive glass that time by Richard Harris. Foul's going to be called on Cruz, and that'll be 3 on Anthony Cruz. Richard Harris to the line where he's 0 for 2 tonight.
Richard Harris is the line for Harrison.
His stat line won't look good, but man, he has made an impact on the game tonight. His mere physical presence. First free throw is good. Extends Harrison County's lead to 47-21. 7:17 left to go in the quarter. Second free throw for Harris is on the way, and this one is good as well. Harrison County with a 27-point lead. Several subs coming in for the Mustangs. Govan returns, also back in the game. Beazold. Poe stays in. Woosley's back in there along with Seapate.
Looks like they're starters almost.
It is. I think Coach Code had a problem with the way they were playing, so they got to sit for a little while. Seapate to Beazold to Woosley in the paint to Govan. Govan has his pass picked off by Wilson. Back-to-back steals by Garrett. He'll get the ball into the hands of Smiley at the top of the key. Pulls up for a three. Count it down! Mason Smiley buries the tray. And you know things are going good. 51-21 for Harrison County. Maybe that'll break him out of his slump. 6:46 left to go in the fourth quarter. Left side, Beazold in the corner. Seapate for 3. Good. Seapate with 11 points now. Makes it 51-24. With 6.5 left to go in the fourth quarter. With the basketball, Elijah Harris gets it to Wilson, goes to the block, cut up by Govan, gets back on the wing to Elijah, up top to Mason, pass down low, knocked away. Loose ball picked up this time by Beazold. Beazold gets the ball to Seapate. Now on the baseline, Woosley, a 14-footer is no good, but he's going to be fouled by Elijah Harris. That'll be Elijah's first personal foul. Going to the line will be Woosley for the first time tonight on the year. He's a 60% free throw shooter. Has 4 points, came in averaging a team leading 12.5. Free throw by Logan is on the way and good. Closes the gap to 51-25. The 6-12 mark. His second free throw is on the way, and this one is also good. Makes it 51-26. 6 minutes left. Elijah against full court pressure by Mustangs. Gets the ball to Wilson. Garrett in the front court to Richard Harris. Richard on the baseline. He'll back it back out and get it to Elijah out front top. Elijah Harris being guarded by C-Pate. Goes inside the center circle. Now reverses back to in front of his own bench on the wing. Now dribbling it up top. Pass to the right side. Intended for Smiley. Goes through his hands and out of bounds.
Dribbling too much.
Back in the game, Custard returns. Yeah, I think that's going to be what one of the assistant coaches, specifically JoJo Hinton, is telling Elijah to stop dribbling so much. With the basketball across the timeline comes Woosley. Woosley now facing a 2-3 zone. Gets the ball to C-Pate on the left wing. He'll get it in turn on that same wing to Woosley, to C-Pate, to Govan, to Beazold, up top to C-Pate. Fakes the three, gets it to Beazold on the wing, on the baseline to Poe. Poe gets out of the trap. Gets it inside on the block to Govan. His shot's no good, but a foul is going to be called on Harrison County. It's going to be on Wilson. That'll be Garrett's second.
Quit fouling. We're going to send some starters back in.
Kendall and Furnish about to check back in as Govan goes to the line. Also checking in, Cliffy McElvain. McElvain making his first appearance of the season, a 6-foot sophomore. First free throw is good by Govan. Gives him 3 on the night. Makes it 51-27. 5:28 on the clock. Second free throw upcoming for Govan. Of course, Cliffy, the shortstop for the baseball Breds for the last 2 years. Second free throw is going to be called off because Govan was stepping on the line.
I think he knew he was short and he was trying to go get the rebound before the ball got there.
Inbounds pass will come to Custard.
Oh, he just traveled.
In the front court to McElvain. McElvain to Kendall. Kendall down low to Furnish. Furnish back to Kendall. Goes through his hands and out of bounds. I think JD wasn't expecting it. As Alex Sled is 0 for 2 from three-point range in front of the stable. Now Coach Brooks has seen enough. Is fooling around. It's time to get back to serious basketball. Calls timeout. 5:18 left to go. Harrison County leads 51-27. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC. Back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County up 51-27, an 11-0 run midway through this second half, giving us this big lead. Here's a steal by Wilson. As Garrett comes across the timeline, he turns it over. I swear, we've had 9 turnovers in this half, and I swear 7 of them have been unforced.
Yeah. Well, one of them was uncalled for, the one they called on Mason.
Okay. 6 unforced and 1 uncalled for.
Both teams
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you.
Both teams have 17 turnovers to the game.
Yeah, that's way too many.
Yeah.
As Kaysen Wright gets off the bench, he'll come in at the next dead ball. With the basketball on the right side, C-Pate. Skip pass to the far side to Woosley. Woosley, wraparound pass to Beazold, dumps it to the foul line to Govan, down low to Poe, triple teamed, drops the ball, picks it back up, throws up a prayer, it's not answered. Loose ball on the floor is going to be picked up by Poe. To get it back out top, baseline Poe, 14-footer air ball, but there to put the garbage back in is C-Pate. He has 13 points.
Have to give Poe credit for his size. He scraps in there.
Yes, he does. Makes the score 51-29. with just 4:35 on the clock. Kason Wright in the game, 6'1" sophomore, making his first appearance of the season. Harrison County with the basketball. Kendall looking, gets the ball inbounds to Custard. Custard against the defense of Woosley, brings the ball up the floor and into the front court as he splits the double team, and now he's going to be fouled.
I think
Foul's going to be called on Woosley.
lost his composure a little bit there.
Yeah. That's his fourth.
He'll be, if he keeps that attitude and keeps guarding Custer, he'll have his fifth pretty quick.
Yeah, got that right. It's going to be a long season for Brossart. Orth checks back in for the Mustangs as Poe comes out. Wright will inbounds it right in front of us. Gets it into the backcourt to Custard. Caden looks over to Coach Brooks for the call of the play as he recrosses the timeline inside the center circle. Waits for his people to get where they're supposed to be. Now Kason's open on the left side, but not open enough. Custard now drifts to the near side, near the timeline still. Gets around his defender, Woosley. Puts up a terrible shot in the lane. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Beazold, and Beazold is going to be fouled. Foul's going to be called on Custard. That'll be Caden's third. We're getting a little too happy with just throwing garbage up towards the basket as Cruz checks back in the game. 51-29, though. We lead by 22, but 8 straight points have been scored by Brossart.
Yeah, we don't need to let that happen.
No. Got to get some positive momentum going into tomorrow afternoon's game against Franklin County, although Franklin, they're going to have 3 players out. 2 because of violation of team rules, the other because of a non-COVID type of sickness. Here's a pass inside, knocked away, loose ball picked up by Orth. His shot is no good. Rebound on the floor, picked up by Govan, goes back to the basket. His shot's no good, but he's going to be fouled.
They're outworking us right now.
Well, yeah, we put it in cruise control.
I know. But, I mean, you can't, we don't want to make a habit of that.
Govan 1 for 3 from the charity stripe. First free throw here is off the flange, no good. Biddle back in for Harrison. Poe comes back in for Bishop Brossart. It's good to see a loud and active and having fun stable.
Yeah.
Haven't had that for years.
No.
Govan, second free throw, also no good. Biddle will come down for the rebound for Harrison County. That's 4 for Blaine tonight. Kendall will bring the ball in the front court on the near sideline. Wraparound pass into the backcourt, and it's going to be saved from going out of bounds by Cruz. Gets the ball to Seapate, and Seapate to Govan. Brossart still trying hard. From the corner, Cruz for 3, short. And we're going to have a foul called on Kason Wright, which will send Cruz to the line for 3 free throws. So now Coach Brooks has seen enough.
Yep, here they come.
The shock troops are too shocking. Cruz to the line where he's 2 for 2.
I think Case was okay till he kept on backing into him.
Yeah, can't do that. First free throw is good. We only have 2 more. AK. At the 3:23 mark. His second free throw is rolling off. Back in the game, Hinton and Richard Harris return. Cynthiana Hardee's has made from scratch breakfast options and the best burgers in town. Hardee's is a proud supporter of Reds and Phillies basketball. Second free throw for Cruz coming up. It's on the way and good. So he made 2 out of 3 there and narrows the gap to 51-31 as the Mustangs have scored 10 in a row. And now a pass above the hands and off the fingertips of Cruz.
Another kid shooting at the
51-31.
sideline.
Yeah, he was even worse than Alex.
Yeah.
We're going to have our stable practice their shots after the game. Inbounds pass will come to Seapate. He's had a nice game with 13. Came in averaging 10. Seapate on the left side. Draws Kendall's defense. Now gets the ball to Govan on the baseline. 12-footers, no good. Offside rebound pulled down by Richard Harris. Richard gives the ball to Custard. Custard goes up the far sideline, now into the front court. He'll now go to the paint, to the glass. Off the mark, no good. Biddle with the rebound, goes back up. Long rebound. It'll be chased down by Harris. And he works. And now a pass off the hands of Harrison County out of bounds. Although it looked like it was off of Brossart, now I think that the official will change things, and he will. So Harrison County will have the ball. up by 20, 51-31 with 2:48 left as Poe checks back in.
You know, our turnovers this quarter are 6.
Harrison County had not scored in the last 4 minutes.
We shot the ball 6 times.
Hinton gets the ball underneath the basket to Richard Harris, knocked away. Harris forces up a shot. There's the end of the stretch. As Harris makes the shot, is fouled, and have a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Harris is 2 for 4 from the line tonight. Missed his first 2, then made his next 2.
Yeah, they've looked good on those shots this half.
At the 2:45 mark, his free throw is going to roll off the rim, no good. And down with the rebound was Orth. In the front court with the basketball. Inside the center circle is Beazold. Drifts to the left side, looking for someone to pass to. I think he's looking for someone to tell him what the play is. And now he's going to be tied up by Custard. Possession arrow will give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds as McIlvain will return to the floor. Everybody who is dressed has gotten into the game tonight. 2:29 left. Harrison now up 53-31. From the backcourt, Hinton gets the ball inbounds to Kendall. Kendall behind the back dribble, trying to get away from the defensive Cruz. Comes into the front court at the top of the key. He'll back it back out again. Gets it over to Hinton on the far side of the midcourt circle. Hinton now guarded by Cruz himself. Goes into the paint. Pull-up jumper from 12 is good. 17 points for Braylon Hinton. Good night for him as he puts his team up 55-31. Here's a long three, good by Seapate. That'll be Seapate's third tray of the game. Makes it 55-34. Minute 54 left in the front court.
A little room, he can make it.
Hinton gets the ball to the top of the key to Kendall. Now on the baseline to Harris for a 15-footer good. Kendall with the assist. Harris with the bucket. He's got 8 points. Harrison County's lead grows to 57-34. Now a minute and a half left. Govan from the block. Hook shot around Biddle is no good. Ball off the hands of Hinton, out of bounds. Fresh troops coming in for Bishop Brossart. We got Lucas Steffen, a 6'3 junior. Also coming in the ball game, Ryan Williamson, a 5'11 sophomore. Luke Piscatello's back in. We've seen him before. Also coming back in for Harrison County, Wilson, Wright, Smiley, and Elijah Harris. Wholesale changes for both teams. If you've been thinking about a farm or machinery loan, call Michael Furnish with Farm Credit Mid-America at 859-254-2741 and learn how he can help you. Inbounds pass comes to Steffen. Gets it to Piscatello. Piscatello to the basket. His layup is no good, but he's going to be fouled by Elijah Harris. That'll be his second. Coach Brooks coaching as hard now as he would have been if we were down by 23.
Well, these guys have got to be able to come off the bench
Absolutely.
and play.
Piscatello at the line for the first time this season. Looking for his first point of the year. He gets it. So Luke Piscatello makes it 57-35. Just 1:20 left. Second free throw is no good by Piscatello. Fight for the rebound and finally hauled in by Cason Wright. Wright brings the ball up the far sideline, gets it in the front court to Elijah. Elijah Harris goes to the block. His runner is no good, however. Rebound, though, is going to be picked up and blocked. And now with the rebound in the front court will come the Mustangs. Over on the right side, here's a pass down low to Williamson, who lays it up and in. Ryan Williamson with the layup. Makes the score 57-37, but under a minute left. Now a steal by Steffen. He'll go coast to coast and misses the shot. Rebound brought down by Piscatello. His putback is no good, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line for two. That foul on Cason Wright, that'll be Cason's second. Piscatello just made 1 out of 2 from the charity stripe. Junior. It's a junior-based team. First free throw is good. Checking in the ball game now for Brossart is Keegan Gully. Keegan Gully coming into the game. Second free throw by Piscatello is also good. Makes it 57-39. Just 30 seconds left. Now a shot goes up and it's out of bounds.
Wright was trying to pass it to Wilson coming in, but he was too excited, overthrowing.
It happens.
Yep.
It happens to even the best of players coming in for the first time sometimes. With the basketball up top is Piscatello. Pass down low, put up and missed. Rebound pulled down by McIlvain. McIlvain to Elijah Harris. Just 8 seconds left. Elijah pulls the ball out, and Harrison County, after having lost 12 of the last 13 ball games to Brossart, comes away with a 57-39 win.
2 and 3:30 instead of.
That'll even up Harrison County's record on the year at 2-2, while Brossart will drop to 2-3. Reds took control of this ball game early with 11-0 run midway through the first quarter. And once they got up by double digits, they never looked back. Bishop Brossart, strangely not as talented this year as they normally are. They all have a interesting season, no doubt. But tonight, we'll celebrate Harrison County's win. We might stay tuned now for our post-game show, sponsored by MCTC out at Licking Valley Campus. We'll go over all the scoring and stats, have a chat with Coach Brooks, and also name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. All of that coming up after this timeout. But once again, your score from here on the Hilltop, Harrison County 57, Bishop Brossart 39. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC.
Dealing with the real world wasn't easy, even before the whole global pandemic thing. Trying to pay the bills, worrying about family, or just trying to figure out what you want to be. The good news? Maysville Community and Technical College is open and ready, with on-campus and online programs that can lead to essential careers in IT, healthcare, and more, all at less than half the cost of a four-year university. So never put your dreams on hold, and never underestimate you.
42-39 win over the Bishop Brossart Mustangs. A 15-0 run in the first half put us up by double digits. And then an 11-0 run early on in the fourth quarter put the game away as Harrison breaks a 5-game losing streak to these Mustangs. We hadn't beaten them since January of 2015. And as we mentioned before, it also stops a stretch in which the Mustangs have beaten us 12 out of 13 times, dating back to 2006. So quite an accomplishment to win this game here tonight. Take a look at the scoring. First for Bishop Brossart, who drops to 2-3 on the year. They were paced by Mason Seapate, who had a nice game tonight despite the loss. 16 points and 3 3-pointers, but a very quiet 16 points as Harrison County was way ahead by the time that Seapate equaled his career high. He also had 16 in the opening game win over Villa Madonna. He was the only player to get into double figures. Logan Woosley, who came in as the leading scorer for Bishop Brossart, had only 6 points. 5 points for Luke Schumacher. Off the bench, Anthony Cruz had 4. 3 points for David Govan, who came in averaging 11 points and 10 boards. He ends up with 3 points and 3 rebounds, so we really chopped him down. Luke Piscatello, also 3 points tonight, and a couple of points as well for Ryan Williamson there late to round out the scoring. Also playing but not scoring for Brossart tonight, Jack Poe, Brandon Beazold, Evan Orth, Lucas Steffen, Ryan Keller, Keegan Gully, and Dominic Haddon. For Harrison County, leading the way was Braylon Hinton with a career-high 17 points, including a three-pointer. 13 of those 17 came in the first half when the Thoroughbreds were building their big lead. 10 points for Clay Carpenter, as it looks like Clay may be on his way back from an early season slump. Had a couple of trays as well. 8 points on the night for Caden Custard, who also had 3 rebounds and 7 assists, so another nice night for our point guard. Richard Harris, 8 points and 4 boards tonight. He also contributed 3 block shots. 6 points for Will Furnish, including a couple of rebounds and a couple of blocks as well. J.D. Kendall had 3, as did Mason Smiley on a three-pointer. Blaine Biddle had 2 points to round out the scoring for Harrison County here tonight. Also playing but not scoring, Elijah Harris, Garrett Wilson, Cliff McIlvain, and Kaysen Wright. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take a break and come back and have Mike take a look at the team stats following this timeout. But once again, from here on the hilltop, your final score, Harrison County 57, Bishop Brossart 39. You've been listening to Harrison County Basketball on WC.
Dealing with the real world wasn't easy, even before the whole global pandemic thing. Trying to pay the bills, worrying about family, or just trying to figure out what you want to be. The good news? Maysville Community and Technical College is open and ready, with on-campus and online programs that can lead to essential careers in IT, healthcare, and more, all at less than half the cost of a 4-year university. So never put your dreams on hold, and never underestimate you.
A team we don't beat very often.
Yeah, it was a good win for us. I thought our kids came out and executed defensively what we worked on for 2 days. And, we had to put a lot of pressure on the big kid and take the ball out of his hands and make him make tough shots. And I thought we did that. Thought we shared the ball early, got out in transition, scored some easy opportunities. But, just right there at the end of the third quarter, early in that fourth quarter, just trying to make some substitutions, save some legs for tomorrow.
Right.
And, they turned the pressure up on us.
Oh, sure.
And our younger kids didn't handle that, so we had to put our starters back in. But, we got to win.
Braylon Hinton, a great night tonight, 17 points. And, he may have shot a couple of bad shots, but for the most part really stayed within himself.
He did. The biggest thing right now with Braylon is getting him to commit on the defensive end. He's a scorer, we give him a green light to take shots when he's open. And, we thought he missed a couple of kids inside, but, scorers are going to shoot the ball. And so we're not going to hinder him on that. Like I said, the big thing right now is get him committed on that defensive end.
Right. I thought we really bothered both Woosley and Govan at their positions, as neither one of them had a very good game.
Yeah, our length hurt them. And actually we did a better job doubling down when the ball did go into 45. We had active hands. We got some turnovers. Like I said, we got out in transition, and Will and Blaine got their hands up, made him shoot over them a lot of times. So, and we didn't give him a second chance opportunity.
Right. Richard Harris, a couple of nice blocks tonight.
Yeah, Richard, he's explosive, and that's what we expect of him defensively. He's athletic. He can guard on the perimeter, and when they come to the basket, he can get up and block those shots too.
Yeah. It's just a good team effort. Now, like I said, if we can just make sure that they understand, I don't care if you got a 16-point lead, you keep that pedal down.
Yeah, I think, we're new. This is new to us.
Right.
It's new to getting a lead like that. And, when you're playing a lot of young people and inexperienced players, it's easy to think the game's over and start getting in coast mode. And, I had to call some timeouts just to try to, get their attention. And,
right.
And we did that. And I want Caden and Elijah Harris to take control at the point guard. They got to take control of the team and get us in the sets that we want to run.
These games are especially good because you get some players in that don't normally get to play. I'm thinking about Elijah Harris and Kason Wright and Cliffy McIlvain. They work every bit as hard as everybody else in practice, so it's good to have these kind of games where they get a reward.
They do. They logged a lot of minutes in that JV game. It kind of showed, Mason got in early, and he was winded early, and Cliffy's just now getting back. This is his first game back, and so he was kind of winded. Garrett, same thing. Garrett logged a lot of minutes in that JV game, and when they have to play a whole JV game and then turn around and play major minutes in the varsity game, it's a lot on them, and hopefully they can rest tonight and be ready to go tomorrow.
Franklin County coming into the Hilltop tomorrow. What do we know about the Flyers?
They're athletic. They've got a point guard, the Cox kid. He can score inside and out. He pushes transition. They're going to get after this defense. They'll play defense kind of like Brossart did tonight. They play up high in the passing lanes, and they'll do a lot of running and jumping and pressing. So it'd be interesting to see how we recover tonight and show up tomorrow. Hopefully we're ready to play. Yeah,
because I don't think they play tonight, so they'll be more rested than we will.
Right.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations on the win, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
Head Thoroughbred basketball coach Terrence Brooks after Harrison County's impressive 57-39 win over the Bishop Brossart Mustangs. We'll take our final break, come back, and have Mike take a look at the team stats. We'll also name our Judy Construction Company player of the game. That coming up after this timeout. You're listening to Harrison County Basketball on WSC. The team stats come out there.
Well,
Mike?
the team half stats for the game weren't as impressive as the first half was, but still a win's a win, and we look good doing it early, and that's important to set the standard for the game early. The Thoroughbreds for the ball game shot the ball 50 times, made 23 of them for 46%.
That's okay.
4 out of 15 from the three-point line for 27%. 7 out of 13 from the foul line. So we rebounded from 2 out of 6 in the first half to make 7 out of 13 for the game. 7 out of 5 in the second half. 53.8, which is better than 33%.
Yes.
21 turnovers, which is a little alarming. Of course, we had a lot of people playing.
Yeah. And a lot of unforced errors.
Yes. 28 rebounds, 18 defensive and 10 offensive for the game. We out-rebounded them 28-23 for the game. Like I say, Brossart had 23 rebounds, 10 offensive, 10 defensive, 13 offensive rebounds.
That's
of course, they were getting at the end. They padded, that stat with 5 offensive rebounds in the second or third or fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Easier for me to say. Turnovers, they had 18. 16 out of 26 from the foul line for 61.5%. They made 10 out of 48, 10 field goals for the whole game
Wow.
10 out of 48, 20.8% for the game, and 27% from the three-point line, 3 out of 11. So that's, I think that they're going to look at these stats and say, we're never going to win a game doing this.
They made 10 field goals. We blocked 7 shots.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were our big guys, and that block shots don't talk about the ones that were altered.
Exactly.
Because there was probably 10 field goals made, 7 blocked, and 7 more altered.
At least that many.
So they're of course, they're not, like you said before the game, their big boy is going to be the biggest guy on the floor most of the games they play.
Yeah.
Tonight he was 4th.
Exactly.
So, that's hard to understand.
And we just wore him down.
And I think that what Dave told you before the game was that they didn't have.
They've got 4 guys and tried to hide 1.
Yeah. Well, I think they were trying to hide more than that tonight. Well, they lost that one kid, so probably it's 3-2 now.
Oh, yeah.
They tried hard, and that's the typical Brossart team. They're kind of like Nicholas County in that regard, where
they just keep
the
on
game
fighting
is never
no matter
over.
what.
They don't understand over.
20 up, 20 down. It doesn't matter. They're going to play as hard either way.
That's right. So but we look good tonight early for sure, and we got a lot of good. Like Coach got a lot of rest for some players. He had Caden out of the game several minutes, and we got to do that because Franklin County, whatever they are, they're a bigger school, and they'll be athletic as all get out. Now I know they got some people out with disciplinary issues and stuff, but we can't look past that. And there's those 3 guys that aren't going to play. We'll have 3 guys coming in that think they ought to be playing.
Exactly.
So they're going to prove that to the coach tomorrow. So we got to make sure we're ready for that.
Because this is their chance to show what they can do and get playing time. And that, a lot of players take that to heart, thinking, I don't want to be at the end of the bench getting in with 2 minutes to go. Exactly. I want to be in important times. And so those 3 players that get the start, this is their chance. We'll just have to see if that chance comes to fruition or not.
Got to make sure that we don't allow them to go home tomorrow night saying, I told you so, Coach.
There you go. You got that right. All right, we'll name our Judy Construction Company player of the game now. We're going to give it to Braylon Hinton. Braylon, a career-high 17 points, including a 3-pointer. He also hit both of his free throws, so a good night tonight for our sophomore Braylon Hinton, our Judy Construction Company player of the game. Now, tomorrow, see you, Dave.
See you, Dave.
See ya.
See ya.
Tomorrow, both the Breads and Phillies play at approximately the same time. Now, the Thoroughbreds will have their JV game at 2 o'clock with the varsity game at 3:30, and I'll be here to bring you that game on our regular 1400. Now, the girls play up at Ludlow against the Lely Panthers. For that game, the JV game is at 1:30, and the varsity game at 3, and Ed Lewis will be on the air with you on our app to bring you that game. So, once again, the Breads here tomorrow, 2 o'clock JV, 3:30 varsity. The girls, the Phillies, at Ludlow, 1:30 JV game, 3 o'clock varsity game. There you go.
Cheerleaders tonight are at George Rogers Clark in the regional competition, so we don't know how they did, but that's where they were tonight.
Okay, hopefully we'll have them back tomorrow, unless it's a 2-day event.
And I think it's 1.
Just a 1, so we should have the cheerleaders back tomorrow. All right, I want to thank Mike for all the great work he does on both color and stats. Also want to thank our engineer back at the station, Mike Davis. He does a great job and has for many, many years now. And as always, I want to thank all of our sponsors, because without their help, we would not be able to get Harrison County High School basketball on the air. So from the hilltop, your final score for the final time, Harrison County 57, Bishop Brossart 39. Good.